Okay, hi everybody. This is the fifth theory test that I'm going to take. Hopefully going to get my 50 out of 50 again. Okay, here we go. So, what can people who live or work in towns and cities do to help reduce urban pollution levels? Driving more quickly, accelerating burns more fuel, so not that. Over revving a low gear, that also burns more fuel, so not that. Drive short journeys. Yeah, that could be, possibility, but obviously out of all of those, the one that uses the least amount of fuel would be to walk or cycle. You have to arrive on time for an appointment. How should you plan for your journey? Right, allow plenty of time for the trip. Yeah, definitely that. Avoid roads with national speed limit. No, that has nothing to do with it. National speed limit is the fastest you can go as well, so that would actually be useful, wouldn't it? Plan to travel at busy times. No, that will slow you down. Prevent other drivers from overtaking. No, that's definitely not a safe thing to do. So allow plenty of time for the trip. You're driving behind a large goods vehicle. What should you do if it signals left but steers to the right? Okay, this is basically because it's a large vehicle, it's a long vehicle, and every vehicle, the back wheels cut corners. So long vehicles, the back wheel will cut the corner more, it's more exaggerated. So a long vehicle will have to swing out to one side of the road before it does the turn. So slow down and let the vehicle turn, probably the safest answer without looking at the others, but overtake it, definitely not. It's going to swing out, possibly hit you. Drive on, keeping to the left. Hold your speed and sound your horn. No need to do that either. Slow down and let the vehicle do the turn. Which vehicle will use a blue flashing beacon? Motorway maintenance will be yellow. Anything to do with road breakdown or maintenance is yellow. Snow plow, same thing. It's maintaining the road by clearing it, so that's yellow. Bomb disposal, saving human life. Anything saving human life is blue. Breakdown recovery, like I said earlier, that's yellow as well. So anything that saves human life, that's fire, ambulance, police, bomb disposal, coast guard, will be blue flashing beacon. What shape are traffic signs giving orders? Okay, that's the round one here. So top left, information direction sign. Top right, information sign. Bottom left, warning triangle. Round sign, order. Why do motorcyclists wear bright clothing? Okay, because they're small objects, they're hard to spot, so it will make them more visible. What's a rumble device designed to do? Okay, the rumble device in the picture, that's these yellow stripes going across the floor. They are slightly raised bumps which make like an audible rumbling sound on your tyres as you pass over them. And they are to alert you to a hazard in this case. How does drinking alcohol affect your driving behaviour? Okay, alcohol actually makes you feel more confident of your abilities than what you actually are. It does not improve judgment, it actually diminishes your judgment. It also reduces your reaction time. It reduces your concentration, so it increases confidence. You're following a slower moving vehicle. What should you do if there's a junction just ahead on the right? Okay, well, if there's a junction ahead of you on the right, it's quite possible the vehicle in front that's driving slower than you is actually slowing down to take that right turn, so overtaking it would be dangerous. Accelerate quickly to overtake before reaching the junction, that would also be dangerous. Only consider overtaking when you're past the junction, yeah, possibly. Slow down and prepare to overtake on the left. Okay, we drive on the left, therefore we shouldn't be overtaking on the left hand side. That would be what we technically class as undertaking. So only consider overtaking when you're past the junction. How should you dispose of a used vehicle battery? Well, you've got to think about what's best for the environment in this case. So burying it in the garden, no, a battery's toxic, so it's going to poison the soil. Put it in the dustbin. Okay, what's in your dustbin ends up in landfill. so poisoning the soil again. Leave it on wasteland, again poisoning the soil. So take it to a local authority disposal site. So your local recycle centres, because they usually do recycle old batteries. You're driving on the motorway. What does it mean if the car in front shows its hazard warning lights for a short time? Okay, flashing your hazard warning lights whilst on the move is a way of you telling everyone behind you that there is a hazard ahead. So, the traffic ahead is slowing or stopping suddenly. The other car is going to change lanes. There's a police speed check ahead. Okay, right, it's going to be this one then. They're warning you the traffic in front is slowing or stopping suddenly, so they're getting your attention to a hazard. Your vehicle has stalled in the middle of a level crossing. What should you do if the warning bells start to ring whilst you're trying to restart the engine? Okay, well, the warning bell basically means there's a train approaching, so the safest thing to do, get out of the car and clear off the crossing. So don't worry about your car, don't worry about your belongings, just get everyone out of the car and clear of the train tracks, and that way you're safest. How should you drive when you're driving along a road that has road humps? Okay, road humps are designed to slow us down, to make it safer for the pedestrians that are within the area. So maintain a reduced speed throughout. Now that is what we should be doing. Accelerate quickly between the humps. Well, that means that between the humps you're possibly speeding, you're driving too fast, so you're actually going against what the speed hump wants you to do. You're effectively defeating it. And that does actually massively increase your fuel consumption as well, so it causes pollution, more pollution within that area. So that's not good. Drive slowly at school times only. While there may not even be a school down that road, it might be humps just to generally calm traffic. So not that one either. Always keep to the maximum legal speed limit. No, we never need to do that. The maximum limit is a maximum, it's not a target. So maintain a reduced speed throughout the length of the road. Why is it dangerous to drive too close to the vehicle ahead? Well, your distance between you and the vehicle in front will not affect your engine overheating, so it's not that. Your mirrors will need adjusting. No, it won't do that either. Your view of the road ahead will be restricted. Yeah, there is that. Say like you've got a lorry or a bus in front of you. If you drive too close to it, then all you're going to see in front of you is the back of that vehicle, and you're not going to have a clue what's going on with the road ahead, in front of the bus or the lorry, etc. Your sat nav will be confused. No, it doesn't affect your sat nav either. So this one here, your view of the road ahead will be restricted. What does this sign mean? Okay, it is a rectangle sign, so it's an information sign. It's displaying with flow bus and cycle lane. If it was a contraflow, this one over here, it'd be showing two lanes on the sign marked up, and an oncoming arrow contradicting the normal flow of traffic. So this is a with flow bus and cycle lane. Where it says the next one down here, no buses and cycles allowed. Well, that would be an order, and all order signs are round, so it's not that one. And no waiting for buses and cycles, again, no waiting for buses and cycles is an order. If that sign exists, then it would be a round sign, it's an order again. You're driving in fog. Why should you keep well back from the vehicle in front? Well, your visibility is reduced, so if it stops suddenly, you risk going in the back of it. So, looking at all of these, in case it changes direction suddenly, yeah, I mean it's obviously a risk, but it's not the main one here. In case its fog lights dazzle you, well, you're driving in fog, so a fog light won't dazzle you because the fog will be actually diffusing it, so it won't look too bright in fog at all. In case its brake lights dazzle you, same thing. Driving in fog reduces the strength of the lighting on the vehicle ahead of you, so it's not that either. So in case it stops suddenly, you're approaching this roundabout. What should you do when a cyclist is keeping to the left while signalling to turn right? Okay, well he's telling you he wants to turn right, so overtaking him on the right hand side could be dangerous. You could be in conflict with them. Looking at the four answers at the bottom, you've always got to think about what's the safest one to do. Sounding your horn could actually make him jump and freak him out, fall off his bike, so not good, and you don't need to do it either. Assume they're turning left. Well, why would you assume they're turning left when they're putting their right arm out to signal right? That doesn't make sense. Overtake them. Okay, overtaking them on the right would be dangerous because this guy is suggesting or telling you with his arm signal that he's going to go right, so you're in conflict in position. So allow them space to turn. A police car is following you. What should you do if the officer flashes the headlights and points to the left? Okay, well he's flashing his headlights to get your attention, and he's pointing to the left to order you to pull up on the left-hand side. So they're stopping you for some reason in this case. The other options, turn left at the next junction, and there may not be a junction on the left. Might not be one at all. Stop immediately. No, that would be dangerous because that might go in the back of you, so that's not a good idea. Move over to the left. No, again, doesn't mean that either. They're flashing their lights at you and pointing left to tell you to pull up on the left. They want to speak to you. What messages are given by circular traffic signs that have a blue background? Okay, because it's circle, it's an order. Because it's blue, it will be a positive order. So they give mandatory instructions, they give directions to car parks, no they don't. They give temporary directions during the diversion, no they don't. They give motorway information, no they don't. So they give mandatory instructions. Whatever's pictured in this, this sign will be saying that you must do what it's picturing. What does this sign mean? Okay, well it's a triangle, so it's a warning, it's an advanced warning of a hazard ahead, and the hazard pictured is somebody crossing the road within a marked area. So, zebra crossing ahead. What does this traffic sign mean? Okay, it's got yellow background, which means there's road maintenance ahead of you. And it's got a order sign in it. There's a round white circle with a red ring, so that's a negative order, meaning you must not exceed 50 miles per hour 3/4 of a mile ahead of you. So it's basically giving you a heads up that 3/4 of a mile ahead of you there is a speed limit reduction, usually in this case. So compulsory maximum speed limit, compulsory minimum, no not minimum, minimum would be around the blue sign there. Advisory, no it's not advisory because it's a round sign pictured, it's an order. So likewise with this as well, advised, no this is an order. So compulsory maximum speed limit. What would suggest, oh sorry about that, let's just get rid of that. What would suggest you're driving on an icy road? There's less wind noise, there's less transmission noise, there's less tyre noise, there's less engine noise. Okay, when you listen to traffic, the loudest thing that you're actually hearing is the noise the tyres make on the road from the friction. And when you're on ice, you get less friction, therefore less noise from the tyres. How will a roof rack affect your car? There will be less wind noise, no, if anything it will generate more wind resistance. The car will accelerate faster. No, roof rack is going to add weight and therefore possibly slow you down depending on what you've got loaded on it. The engine will use more oil. No, fuel consumption will increase. Okay, the roof rack will cause some more wind resistance, so that's going to burn more fuel, and depending on how much weight of what you've loaded onto the roof rack, adding weight to the car causes more fuel consumption too. What style of driving causes increased risk to everyone? Or consider it doesn't. That means you being nice, allowing room for people, etc. Defensive also. Actually, defensive driving is the style that we do teach. To be well aware of all the hazards around you, etc. Responsible, again, that means you are showing consideration for those around you. So competitive is the one that's an increased risk to everyone. That's when people drive faster, or they're racing the person next to them, that kind of thing. Okay, what does this signal mean? Okay, we've got a traffic light with a signal bolted onto the side, and the signal that's on the side is for trams, and this white bar basically indicates whether the tram can move or not, and because it's going horizontally, let's get this right, it's basically acting like a barrier. So we've got cars must stop. No, you've got a green light for that. Both trams and cars must stop. No, again, you've got a green light, so it doesn't mean stop. Trams must stop. Yep, that is blocking. You imagine the tram would be going through vertically, so this bar's blocking it. Both trams and cars can continue. Right, I'm going to say trams must stop. Give me the green lights to cars, not to trams. When will a new car need its first MOT? Okay, you have to know this. It's not one you can guess. First MOT crops up when the vehicle is 3 years old. What should you do before making a U-turn? Give an arm signal as well as using your indicators. Look over your shoulder for a final check. Check road markings to see that U-turns are permitted. Select a higher gear than normal. Okay, a higher gear will make you go faster, and you're going to have to slow down to do a U-turn, so that's not that. Check road markings to see U-turns are permitted. Right, well, there is no road marking that suggests that U-turns are permitted. We do have a sign. There's a round order sign that will tell you if you can't do one, so it's not this one either. Give an arm signal as well as using your indicators. Well, if you indicate left or right, that's going to imply you're turning left or right and not actually doing a U-turn. So that'd be a confusing signal. So look over your shoulder for a final check, and you're looking over your shoulder at your blind spot, primarily to see if there's a bike passing you. So look over your shoulder. What does this sign mean? Okay, this is a warning triangle sign, an advanced warning of a hazard ahead, and the hazard pictured is 3 arrows going around in a clockwise circle. So mini, I'm going to say roundabout. I shouldn't say mini roundabout because we don't know whether it's mini or large. I'm going to say roundabout. I bet I get that wrong now. I'm going to be furious if I get that wrong. I haven't done this in a long time. Okay. What can you do to reduce environmental damage caused by your vehicle? Avoid using the cruise control, use the gears to slow the vehicle, use the air conditioning whenever you drive, avoid making a lot of short journeys. Okay, environmental damage caused by your vehicle. This is basically what kind of style driving will use the most amount of fuel. Cruise control doesn't use the most amount of fuel, actually. That means you'll be driving at a constant speed, so this actually does make it a little bit more economics and not that. Using the air conditioning whenever you drive. Well, the air conditioning requires more power. That means the engine's got to create more power. That burns more fuel. So that doesn't reduce your environmental damage, that actually increase it. Use the gears to slow the vehicle, what we call engine braking. No, that's been deemed to, over a long period of time, that causes wear and tear to your car. So that won't affect it either. Avoid making a lot of short journeys. I mean, you think about it, if the journey is so short, you could actually walk or cycle it instead. And short journeys are bad for the car as well. There's a lot of wear and tear on the short journey. What can you do to reduce, I just want to make sure I'm reading that correctly, what can you do to reduce your environmental damage caused by your vehicle? Yeah, that's fair, yeah, that's correct. So it's been a long week in lockdown. Sometimes I don't, my brain overthinks a little bit. This is what you have to try and avoid in your theory. Okay, what does this sign mean? Okay, it's another advanced warning triangle picturing a bicycle. So it is warning you that there is a cycle route ahead of you. This one that says cyclists must dismount. Okay, must, an order. Therefore, an order sign would be round. Cycles aren't allowed. Again, an order. You're not allowed. That would be round. Cycling in single file. We don't actually have a sign for that. There's nowhere that you are ordered to cycle single file. What does this road marking mean? Okay, the white line up the middle. It is up the middle of the road. It is showing the centre of the road, but because it's a long white line with short gaps, it's what we call a hazard line. Don't cross the line. No, it's not that, because it's a broken line, and any broken line means you may cross that line. No stopping allowed, it's not that either. No overtaking allowed. Okay, no overtaking again. That would be a solid white line at the middle, not a broken one. You're approaching a hazard. So long white line with small spaces between, that is a hazard line. You can see just about here in the picture that the road bends to the right, and the bend is the hazard. You're towing a Caravan, which is the safest type of rear view mirror to use. What have you got? Okay, that's a kind of a bit of a trick question. If you've got a Caravan behind you, that means all you're going to be able to see behind in your rearview mirror is your Caravan. So your two door mirrors on the sides are going to be what you need to improve. So extended arm side mirrors. That means they protrude more so that you can see past your Caravan that's behind you. What should you do if the amber lights, sorry, because we're in lockdown, you can now hear my family in the background. Okay, what should you do if the amber lights come on and a warning sounds while you're driving over a level crossing? Well, if you're already driving over the level crossing, you're already on it. You can't stop on it, so you're going to have to continue and clear it. So keep going and clear the crossing. There we go. What would be a serious distraction while you're driving? Looking at road maps, using your windscreen washers, switching on your demister, looking in your door mirror. Okay, if you think about why you drive, we need to look in our mirrors to see what's behind us, so that's okay. Switching on your demister, yep, while you're driving, you may have to clear a window that's misting up, so that's okay too. Using your windscreen washers, okay, again, you might have a load of dirt over that's just fallen onto the window, and you have to wash it off whilst driving, so that's fine. So looking at a road map while driving would be a serious distraction. That means looking away from the road and down at the map. Sorry about the noise in the background. Yesterday's recording, it was my son. Now you can hear my daughter screeching away. She's only one, so you have to forgive her. Okay, you're travelling on the motorway. How can you lower the risk of a collision when the vehicle behind is following too closely? Okay, we have no control over the guy behind, so we can't make him back off. If you accelerate to get away from him, he'll probably just follow you. So looking at these answers, increase your distance from the vehicle in front, switch on your hazard warning lights, brake sharply, definitely not, that'll make the guy behind is following too closely going back at you. Move on to the hard shoulder and stop. No, we don't stop on the hard shoulder unless it's an emergency, like a breakdown or a medical episode that you're having. So, increase your distance from the vehicle in front so that if the guy that's behind that's following too close goes into the back of you, you're less likely to be shunted into the back of the vehicle in front of you. What safety device must be fitted to a trailer braking system? Now this is where I'm a little bit rusty on this. I'm going to say a stabilizer. I'm pretty certain that's correct. When must you contact the driver and vehicle licensing agency? When you get a parking ticket? No. When you use your vehicle for work? No. When your vehicle's insurance is due? No. When you change your vehicle? It's that one. They have to know what vehicle you are driving. Therefore you have to update that. Remember it says in the question, driver and vehicle licensing agency. You're following a long vehicle approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the driver signals right but moves close to the left hand curb? Okay, because it's a long vehicle, it's got to swing out because the back wheels cut corners. so he has to compensate for that. So he's going to move to the left as close as he can to give the back wheels more room to do the right turn. So he's signalling he's going to turn right. The safest thing for you to do out of these four will be to wait behind it. Give him room, let him do it. Why should you be cautious when going past this bus waiting at a bus stop? Okay, we've all used buses, pretty much. We're pretty confident we've all used buses at some point, and I've done this in the past myself. Get off the bus and I want to cross the road. So I've crossed the road from behind the bus. So when you're passing the bus, you've got to be very wary of people stepping out from behind the bus. So people may cross the road in front of it. Which lights must you use if you're driving on a well-lit motorway at night? Okay, side lights are very weak lights designed to make your car visible when it's parked generally. So nowadays they're usually called parking lights. Rear fog lights we only use in very poor visibility. So when visibility is less than 100 metres in front, we put them on. So it's not that either. It says it's well lit in the question. Front fog lights, same thing. They are only to be used in very poor visibility of less than 100 metres ahead, so you use your headlights at night. What should you do while you're driving or riding along a motorway? Look much further ahead than you would on other roads. Maintain a shorter separation distance. Definitely not. You're driving faster, so you need a bigger distance. Travel much faster than you would on other roads. Well, yeah, you will be doing that, but that's not the one I'm looking for. Concentrate more than you would on other roads. So what should you do while you're driving or riding along a motorway? Because you're travelling faster, your stopping distance is longer, and therefore you need to look much further ahead than you would on other roads. For how long is an MOT certificate normally valid? Okay, that's usually 1 year after the date it was issued. You're on a smart motorway. What does it mean when a mandatory speed limit is displayed above the hard shoulder? Well, smart motorway means exactly that. It is smart. At busy times when the traffic congestion's quite high, they will open up the hard shoulder to be used as a driving lane. So, and if this sign is above it, it means that you are now allowed to use it, but you must not exceed 50 miles per hour in this case. The hard shoulder can be used as a running lane. You can put it up in this lane. So, okay, the hard shoulder can be used as a running lane. You want to put a rear-facing baby seat on the front passenger seat. What must you do if the passenger seat is protected by a frontal airbag? You have to deactivate the airbag. Because if you don't, if you have a collision, the airbag will deploy. And the airbag's powerful enough to basically smash that child seat and threaten the life of your child that's within it. Looking at the other answers, ask a passenger to hold the baby. Now that's not very safe. That doesn't protect the baby at all. Turn the seat to face sideways. Again, that doesn't protect the child from an impact. It's got to be facing front or rear, just like everyone else in the car faces forward. That gives you good protection. Facing rearward actually offers the best protection, and obviously no one else in the car can do that, but a baby can. Within the child seat can face back. Put a child in an adult seatbelt. No. Again, so you can put a rear-facing child seat in the front, but if it's got an airbag there, you have to deactivate the airbag. You're approaching a zebra crossing. What should you do if pedestrians are waiting to cross? Okay, we should give way to pedestrians. So give way to older and infirm people only. No, you should give way to everyone who's waiting. So use your headlights to indicate they can cross. No, never beckon people to cross the road, because you have no control over anyone behind you might be overtaking you, or the oncoming traffic, so you could end up beckoning a pedestrian into the path of an oncoming vehicle. So this one here, wave at them to cross the road, definitely do not do that either. Safest thing out of these four, slow down and prepare to stop to let the pedestrians cross. What should you do as you approach this bridge? Okay, well the warning triangles in the picture warning you of a humpback bridge, and usually humpback bridges are very small, very old, and therefore the plaque underneath is also giving you a heads up that oncoming vehicles will be in the middle of the road. So there's not enough room for you and the oncoming to pass over the bridge at the same time. So moving to the right would make you collide with them. That's not a good idea. Change gear, it's got nothing to do with it. You probably would have to anyway because you're slowing down, but I mean, that's not the answer I'm looking for. It's not the safest one out of these four. Keep to 30 miles per hour. There's nothing in there saying you have to do 30, and you quite possibly need to be doing less than that anyway. So slow down because you can't see the oncoming traffic in this picture, so you need to slow down, be prepared to stop. Your mobile phone rings while you're travelling, what should you do? Well, the safest thing to do is ignore it. So even if you've got, like I have in my vehicle, my phone connects via Bluetooth so I can operate it hands-free. A phone call while driving is a massive distraction, so it's best never to use the phone while you drive. Even if legally you can, if it's hands-free, I'd recommend not. So out of all of these, stopping immediately, that's dangerous. That means the guy behind you might go in the back of you. Answer it. Like I said, it's a big distraction, so I wouldn't do that. Pull up at the nearest curb. Your mobile phone rings while you're travelling. What should you do? We don't have to pull up. I'm going to say ignore it. Out of all of them, that would be the safest one for me to do. And you may not have a place to pull up either. So we have to read these questions really carefully. It says what should you do, and then you think about what's the safest option out of those four. You're on a country road. What should you expect to see coming towards you on your side of the road? Alright, okay, this would be pedestrians. Country roads usually don't have pavements or footpaths, and it's safest for a pedestrian to walk into the direction of the oncoming traffic, so you should expect pedestrians coming towards you on your side. You notice horse riders in front, what should you do first? Pull out to the middle of the road, accelerate around them, slow down and be ready to stop, signal right. Okay, well the safest thing to do is to slow down and be ready to stop. You slow down so you can assess the road ahead. Do you have enough room to pass them? Is there any oncoming traffic, etc.? So slow down, that's the very first thing you do. Slow down, be ready to stop. What should you do before making a U-turn? This cropped up earlier, it's funny, just worded differently. Give an arm signal as well as using your indicators. Well, any form of signal is going to be, to signal left or right, it's going to imply that you're turning left or right and not doing a U-turn, so that's not the correct answer. Check road markings to see that U-turns are permitted. There is no road marking that tells you you're allowed to do a U-turn. You assume you can do a U-turn unless there is a sign saying that you cannot. Or actually, a solid white line up the middle of the road would pretty much say you can't do it either. Okay, look over your shoulder for a final check. Select a higher gear. Well, a higher gear is for going faster, and you're going to need to slow down to do U-turns, so not that either. So looking over your shoulder for a final check to make sure there's nothing in your blind spot overtaking you. Okay, viewing the summary, I've answered all 50, they're all complete. I'm going to end the current test. Oh, I've got one wrong. Okay, let's have a look at the results, just to see what I got wrong in here. I'm still going to put this on, because 49 out of 50 is good. It might be that trailer one, because I'm a bit rusty on the rules of that. I've got a sneaky feeling it could be that. Yeah, in mind it's been 14 years that I had to do. Yeah, there you go, it was. So it was the trailer one. So what safety device must be fitted to a trailer braking system? I put stabilizer, in this case it's a breakaway cable. Didn't know that, but now I do. When I took my theory test 14 years ago, there were no questions about trailers within the test, and that's just So that's basically brought me up to date on one aspect. Okay, I'm going to stop this recording now. So hopefully I've covered that. I got one wrong, but I've just gone back so you can see what the correct answer is.